Muggy, overcast Sunday at Hazeltine National Golf Club for the final round of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, where we could be seeing one of the most unlikely winners in recent major championship history. 22-year-old Hannah Green from Australia, not only trying to win for the first time, but trying to do it in a major wire-to-wire. Began the day with a one-shot lead, settling the nerves with that putter at the second. Quick birdie. Makes it a two-shot lead over Ariya Jutanugarn, whom she's playing with in the final group. Others trying to mount a charge include 20-year-old Nelly Korda, beginning the day 4 shots back. Has a couple of birdies in the first 7 holes, but is still working from a deficit because Hannah Green has been on. This her third at the par 5 7th. After reeling off several pars in a row, setting up another birdie. This is just her 7th career major. Rock solid with a putter with all this pressure, and with Jutanugarn making a bogey at the 8th, that one-shot lead has quickly become 4 as we get you out to the golf course and the leader at the 9th, and Tom Abbott with the call there at the par 4.
And we begin with a bit of drama because she has this one for par, having driven it in the rough. Mark Rolfing, her first putt coming up this short.
Should be right edge from about 7 feet. Got it outside the hole, though.
And it is going to be a bogey for Hannah Green, her first bogey of the final round. And we will go ahead 1 to the 10th.
And Nelly Korda is over at the 10th, but dealing with the rough, looking down the hill with a 7-iron from 173. Dan Hicks here with Karen Stupples and Gary Koch in our tower as she walks that down.
That was so difficult. Ball was above her feet from thick rough.
Yeah, that's about all you could hope for from there, Karen. Get it somewhere around the front part of the green, and importantly to the right, where she'll have an angle to chip to the hole location that's front left.
So threesomes off both tees with threatening weather, and so joining this group with Ariya Jutanugarn and the leader Hannah Green is Lizette Salas.
Ariya Jutanugarn looking on as Lizette gets ready to try and make this par putt to remain at 5 under. Still in with a chance because you never know what's going to happen on the back 9 at a major on Sunday.
She's going to have to play aggressive. She hasn't had a particularly clean front side.
It's just high enough. Lizette has been on the tour since 2012. One victory. It came in 2014 at Kings Mill in Virginia. Has been a star for the United States on the Solheim Cup. And now Hannah Green still has a little work to do for a bogey here, Mark.
Yeah, you'd have a sense that there's just a little bit of nervous feeling in the air. She's played a beautiful front side.
She said yesterday she really didn't feel that nervous. Maybe a different story today. So playing alongside Ariya Jutanugarn. It was actually calming to talk to Ariya.
Well, Tom, that is just her 4th bogey of the week. So suffice to say that Hannah Green is handling the heat. Not many expected it, especially in the final round of a major championship. Not far from downtown Minneapolis is where the latest major will be decided, at Hazeltine. A place already brimming with unforgettable championships and spine-tingling moments. Today, the spotlight centers around the most powerful LPGA golfer in the world. Just 23, Ariya Jutanugarn is already a decorated 2-time major champion and the former #1 player in the world. So what are the chances of a winless 22-year-old from down under holding her off? About as unbelievable as Hannah Green's first 3 rounds. Sometimes, when you dare to dream that it's just your week, it really can be. So why not join the rest of the legends among the very best to ever play the game and take home the trophy in the KPMG Women's PGA Championship? Golf Channel on NBC. The LPGA Tour and the PGA of America are proud to present live final round coverage of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, all part of the season-long race to the CME Globe. A little dicey forecast today for this championship Sunday just outside downtown Minneapolis, but so far so good. No delays all week. It was really nasty on Thursday with some winds gusting and some rain pelting down at Hazeltine, but we hope to get this in today, and it's looking like we just might. And it's looking like Hannah Green just might get it done. This has been the site of previous major breakthroughs with Rich Beem at a PGA. Y.E. Yang also a part of that list. Is it her turn? The lead has been cut down to 3, but still a solid start for her as you take a look at the first page of the leaderboard. There's Sung Hyun Park at 6 under. She is the defending champion, and the greatest names in the game today all trying to give chase, but so far it has been Hannah Green's show. Back down at the 10th, third for Nelly Korda, who has a couple of wins already in her early career. Her older sister Jessica with 5 wins, but Nelly is outdoing her older sister this week. As we get you out to the 10th, back up on top of the hill, Lizette Salas's tee shot, and looks like a good one.
Yeah, with a driver, pretty straight, right up the center. Not long as usual.
Salas out an even par, remaining 5 under, and Jatanagarn all pars and that lone bogey at the 8th. Kay Cockrell.
Well, that's right, and she's now coming to a back 9 that plays much tougher, and she has not fared as well on this back 9, and today did not take advantage of the front 9, which she has throughout the week. Going with her 2-iron.
The previous round, she's hit her 3-wood on this hole, trying to get it down there as far as she can. This, to me, might be a little sign that she's not quite as happy hitting the ball today as
well,
she
I'm
has
wondering too, Karen, with the hole location right on the very front left portion of the green, maybe you want to play from a flat lie up on top of the hill to that tight hole location rather than get it down the hill and have to play off a downhill lie.
And you will see it so many times while Jatanagarn gears down. Hannah Green goes with driver. Mark?
Yeah, and she's got to get it in the fairway, Karen. We talked about it yesterday. If you keep trying to play from the rough, it's going to catch up with you eventually. This one is pounded up the left-hand side. Should be good.
Had a little bit of a problem yesterday with some of those drives flaring to the right, but that is a solid one for Hannah Green. Up at the par 5 15th, it has been a good Sunday for Mel Reid. Now at 4 under, beginning the day at even. And yet another birdie for Mel Reid, 5 under on her round. As we welcome you to our tower, Karen Stupples and Gary Koch alongside. And how big of a story is this in the world of golf? Hannah Green not only threatening, but looking like she's got the right stuff, Karen, to get this done today.
Well, when you talk about the right stuff, I think about the 4 things that she really does have going in her favor. She has low expectations because, quite frankly, everybody has been expecting Ariya Jutanugarn to take this championship. The Kari Webb factor. She's sharing a house with Kari Webb. She's getting all kinds of good little insights and tidbits every morning when they're waking up. That's kind of cool. And Ariya Jutanugarn, she's very comfortable to play with. So there's no intimidation factor. And the last thing is she's used to playing this type of golf. Her best result came on the LPGA Tour when she wasn't hitting that many fairways, yet her putting stood her in good stead. So this is familiar territory.
And Gary, it would appear that Ariya Jutanugarn still is the one for Hannah Green to keep a close eye on. Who else?
Well, you know, Kay Cockrell just mentioned that Jutanugarn has struggled on the back 9. She's actually +3 on that 9 through the first 3 rounds, so she's going to have to turn it around big time. Nelly Korda has the length, no question about it, off the tee to allow herself to have some shorter approach shots into some of the par 4s on the back 9, and there's a par 5 that she can reach into. The par 3 hole locations both at 13 and 17 are relatively easy, so I think she may just have that opportunity to put some heat on Green.
Yeah, Hannah Green trying to break through for the first time, and the Korda sisters have a combined 7 wins out here on the LPGA Tour, but looking for their first major championship. Jutanugarn and Korda still 4 back of Green. This is Se-Young Kim down there. And Jerry Foltz is with this group.
And Se-Young just having charged her 30-foot birdie putt past a little bit here. Some work remaining. But at this point, not knowing what's going on behind them, but been given no indication that Hannah Green is going to come back to them. All three players in this group know that they cannot afford to be dropping any shots.
Well, Jerry, this young lady posted a little 31 on the back nine yesterday. Remember, hole out a little chip at 13 and then a wedge shot for an eagle at 14. So she knows she can go low back here.
Well, and she holds basically every LPGA Tour scoring record from Green Bay last year. She can go up very low and in the process make it look easy.
Eight wins for Se-Young Kim. And one of those players you'd expect to break through in a major championship before too long. Now Nelly Korda.
Plenty of work here and a little bit downhill. With every passing hole, these become so much bigger.
Well, Nelly remains bogey free on the day, 2 under on the round. To the always entertaining 16th. It was up yesterday, just 245, but it's back to 375 today for Mel Reid. 5 under round going.
Well, staying aggressive. She hit driver here, what was it, the first round, Karen, and put it in the penalty area to the right. Not the case today. Beautiful tee shot.
7 birdies for Mel Reid as we go back to the beautiful scene alongside Hazeltine Lake for the defending champion Sung-Hyun Park from Kemper Lakes last year.
Then she has this remaining for par. Drove it way right of the fairway and got a good break. Had a shot to the green. Putted it to here from about 60 feet. But we've seen on Sunday throughout the brief history of her career, sometimes she struggles with makeable putts as the pressure mounts. Sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah, she didn't last year. Jerry came from 4 back in the final round, a 4-set playoff, and ended up winning.
Just 25 years old, 3rd year on the LPGA Tour. Won her 2nd major in this event last year to go along with the U.S. Women's Open in 2017. 211.
And in B Park played so well yesterday with a round of 68. Her approach to this par 5, they stuck the flag over on the right side today. As you walk up the fairway at the 11th, they look like they missed the green with the flag location. But as we get back to 10
and see where the drives ended up in this final threesome. Jatanagarn out there 257 with an iron. And both Hannah Green and Lizette Salas, the drivers behind him. And it is a downhill shot almost 40 feet to the surface along the lake. And as often will be the case, Mark Rolfing, Lizette Salas will play first.
She is. She's got 157. I spoke with her swing coach a little while ago, Jim Gormley. They're trying to shallow Lizette's swing out. She tends to be steep. Don't want to do that here, especially with a downhill lie. That one looked pretty good.
And Jatanagarn is next. Kay.
Yeah, basically a similar distance. All 3 players hit different tee shots, but ended up in virtually the same spot. Coming off again a slight downhill lie.
There's that story of the back 9 you're looking at right now, Gary.
Yeah, she's got to turn that around, Kay. There's no question about it. She's going to have some shorter irons into some of these par 4s and a par 5 that she can reach into at 15. So needs to take advantage. Got to be aggressive.
Well, able to come in here with a wedge. This plays 11 yards downhill, and this has a good line.
And the green's holding very well today, Karen. We saw, you know, kind of that big first bounce through especially the first 2 rounds.
I think there was a bit of rain overnight. Helped soften things up.
Well, hence we're seeing some very good scoring.
147 for Hannah now, and it would be a mistake if this ball ends up left of the hole on the green. Wind is coming from the left. Just right of the hole.
Oh, what a shot.
Beauty.
What a shot.
So after making her first bogey of the day, Hannah Green bounces right back at the 10th in search of her first win and trying to make it a major at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. The KPMG Women's PGA Championship is being brought to you by Skechers Go Golf. Comfort, it's a game changer for Tony Romo. By Rolex, the official timepiece of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And by KPMG. Mentioned how muggy it is. Humidity is sky high. Aerial coverage provided by Club Gloves TRS Ballistic, #1 in professional golf and the new standard in American-made luggage. But good scoring conditions, not much wind as you see the Hazeltine Lake looking glassy right now, 72 degrees. And back out at the 10th where Jutanagarn is away, Kay?
And still looking for her first birdie on this round. She's known for making a boatload of birdies. This one from inside 30 feet. Unusual to not see her have made at least 2 or 3 already.
And also just back behind along this lake, Mel Reed looking for yet another birdie. Second to this signature hole here at Hazeltine.
Most dangerous approach shot on the entire back 9 as the penalty area is just to the right of the green. That's very well played.
Well, it's good to see Mel playing well. Very talented golfer, but has yet to realize her potential.
211.
And in B Park for birdie, 7-time major champion. 3 of those major championships have come in the women's PGA, and they came in consecutive years, but that's a missed opportunity to get to 6 under, so she will remain 5 back as we go back over to 10.
Where Salas is next.
Karen, don't count this player out yet. She is an explosive player, even though she's not a long hitter. I remember watching her out in Hawaii one day. She was 62 at Ko'olina without overpowering the course at all.
Well, she's really gritty, really determined. She had a sort of a tough early life getting into golf, didn't have everything handed to her on a plate, had to work for everything that she's ever had, and you can see it in the way she plays golf.
This one should have just a little left-hand break to it.
About as close as you can come without dropping down. Well, Hannah Green, as we mentioned, 22 years old from Perth, Australia, and loving the environment that you touched on earlier, Karen. Saturday night Barbie, a little barbecue at a house that she and a lot of her Aussie mates, along with Kari Webb, are all sharing. In fact, there's 8 of them in this house rental. 7 of the 8 are Aussies, and they have been having a great time. Talking to Hannah last night, she says it's been a great distraction. She just goes back to the house. They don't talk about golf. And Kari Webb has a series and a scholarship recipients. And there is Becky Kay, Grace Kim on the left. Becky Kay is hidden behind the tall man there, but they are all dressed up. They're Kari Webb recipients, scholarship recipients, which Hannah Green was a few years back, and they have been cheering her on every day. Good birdie opportunity there for Hannah. Settles for par, remains at 10 under. They have reached the back 9 here at Hazeltine. Green started the day with a 1-shot lead. It is now 3. July 9th, superstars Jeff Foxworthy, Chrissy Teigen, and Kenan Thompson are searching for the next big name in comedy. From sketch to variety and stand-up, Bring the Funny premieres Tuesday, July 9th, right here on NBC. Out to the 11th and the final threesome.
Yeah, Bring the Funny. How about bring the firepower here for Ariya Jutanugarn, because there's a little breeze on her back for the first time this week at this hole, and she could reach it in 2.
And it's amazing, Tom, that she averages anywhere from 270 on the year to over 280 this week, and it's all with a 3-wood off the tee.
Watch the ball flight here with the top tracer.
And that was a good one, taking it down the right-hand side, trying to cut a little off of that corner.
Pummeled.
Yeah, it was, and perfect shot. She'll have a chance to reach the green in 2. We'll take a look at this par 5, dogleg right, 545 yards. Tee shot initially a little bit uphill, but if you can hit it as far as area Jatanagarn, you can catch this little downslope, which she just did, which should give her an opportunity to try to reach the green in 2. The shorter hitters, well, they're forced to lay up into this narrow area between all these bunkers. You want to avoid those on the right at all cost.
You can see just half the fairways for Hannah Green, going with driver. And this one left.
It's amazing, Tom. She is in the lead. She's 74th in driving accuracy in the field of 80 players. Really pretty amazing. And how about the group, Karen, in this final group, their driving distance? The measured drives area averaging 275 yards, 30 yards more than Hannah Green, and 36 yards more than Lizette Salas. Green and Salas hitting drivers, and Jatanagarn with 3-wood. That's power.
It really is, and it's such an advantage on a big golf course like this.
Let's go to 16.
This for birdie number 8 for Mel Reid.
I've seen Mel play some of her best golf when she's been on the Solheim Cup.
And frustrated she wasn't able to get that one down. Back on the tee for Lexi Thompson, and at the beginning of the week we all thought that this was the perfect kind of course for Lexi. Long hitters kind of paradise, and this one not happy.
Well, you do not want to miss right. She got very fortunate that just carried the penalty area.
Back to 9.
Remember, it's a 2-tee start here with 3 balls, so Brooke Henderson finishing on the 9th, and this is to finish with a birdie. And it's been a bit of an up and down day for Brooke. She had a wonderful start. She had a wonderful final 9. Not a great first 9. 4 birdies on this front 9 of the golf course, her back 9.
And Tom, I was going to say that she made a putt on the 18th hole on Friday to actually be playing the weekend.
Maybe a bit tired. She won last week in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but a decent week at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship for a past champion. But it's all about Hannah Green right now. Can she hang on into this back 9? There's going to be a lot of pressure. We will find out.
For more on the LPGA's new campaign, Drive On, go to lpga.com/Drive On as we continue in the 65th edition of this championship at 11.
Nelly Corder's second shot just carried the bunker, so a little chip from the bank, but not her best effort there. And still not guaranteed a birdie. Now, what is Hannah Green going to do here? She's got the hybrid out, the ball way below her feet. This is a little dangerous here.
Very dangerous. Has to punch it.
I tell you what, I think that's going to work out. She's just smiling because it wasn't pretty, but it's working its way down there. Obviously going to be a 3-shotter for Hannah Green.
Well, let's take another look at the shot here, Tom. Obviously, with the hybrid, you're going to try to hit down on the ball as much as you can, and it's going to come out of there low with no spin, so it's going to run. Amazing she was able to control the club face that well, Karen, to keep the face square through that long grass.
I think sometimes when you take the hybrid, it's a little easier to do it than with a longer iron, like a 5-iron.
Lexi Thompson had to lay up over at 16, so now her third to this par 4.
And I think we should bear in mind, this is Lexi Thompson's 5th tournament in a row. She normally doesn't play that many.
Came in here red hot with a win, a couple of runner-ups. Back to 11.
And Sun Hyun Park has this putt at the 11th, the par 5. She went for the green in 2, just missed it on the left side. So this is a good opportunity for birdie, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was one heck of a bunker shot just to get it on this plateau from some 35 yards up that steep slope and give herself a chance.
Just to get it to 3 under for the day. Yes, so last year's champion is in the mix. Remember, she won in a playoff, dramatic finish on the 16th hole last year at Kemper Lakes in the playoff, hitting one out of the penalty area. And now Nelly trying to get to 8 under par and just a couple of shots back.
Very good break on that second shot, because that was coming in hot and would have been well over the green. Nice little easy pitch to here. Might trickle a little bit to the right.
Trying, and it did. Just didn't have enough pace.
I think she hit that where she was aiming it. It looked like she certainly wasn't aiming it at least right off the hole even.
No, I agree. I think Tom was right on the money. It just did not have enough speed for that line.
Well, we've had a little rain here at Hazeltine this week, and it might be good for ducks. And Mom's got her troops behind her when one guy in particular seems like he's got to take it to the front of the pack. That was like a little NASCAR move. Well, what the heck? We've got next Sunday NASCAR returning to the networks of NBC. Buckle up like you just saw some of those ducklings do as Sports Top's drivers start the second half of the season and the race to the championship at Chicagoland. Back to 11.
Area second.
Going at it with the 3-wood, 354 to the front.
And it's going to be in the bunker.
That'll test her skills on the short side over there.
Yeah, it certainly will. That was not her best swing by any means.
So let's look at the way Hannah Green has played this hole. You wouldn't necessarily suggest it, missing it left and then bumping it out to here. So she's got all of those bunkers to go over and needs to get this one right. It may be somewhat of a conservative third shot for Green here, Mark.
It's got 156 yards. It really was a terrific layup. Ball scooted way down the fairway. I thought she might have 170 or 180. This is an important shot, I think, though. It's a little bit up the hill. I think she's going to have to be just a little bit on the conservative side, maybe short and left of the hole location.
To your point there, Mark, she was very disciplined with her lines yesterday.
Karen, she talked about that, the discussions she's had with her caddy. What a shot. Knight Blasky, you know, that they're trying to discuss the best outcome for every shot and play conservatively, something she said she doesn't normally do.
Back with Ariya Jutanugarn and this third shot at the par 5 11th, and as we talked about a little earlier, it's not easy.
Tom, overall, it's 15 paces to the hole, probably about 20 feet of green to work with. She's an excellent bunker player.
But not today. That's a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Just trying to be quite cute with that, wasn't she?
Well, it was surprising. It seemed like it was a very short swing for the length of the shot, and just kind of quit on it going forward. I would have expected a bigger backswing and more acceleration. You're playing out of the wet sand. Usually that's what you like to play out of because it's easier to spin the ball.
Well, earlier we showed you the current Kari Webb Scholarship recipients that have been following Hannah Green along today, and it wasn't long ago when she was one of those scholarship recipients and had the chance to travel with Kari to the 2015 U.S. Women's Open.
It was a real eye-opener, and I think that's really when I was like, yeah, okay, I need to work a lot harder if I want to play out here. I don't think she realizes how great an opportunity she gives us players, even though, I mean, maybe she does. I think she's learnt that off Greg Norman. She had a similar thing with him, but I think it's awesome that she's continuing to do it, even though her schedule is slowly getting smaller. But I don't think any of us Australians would be the same person we are today without Kari in our lives.
So very thankful for the Kari Webb Scholarship, and there is Kari following Hannah around. Missed the cut but participated in this week's championship, and here are some of the photos from that 2015 U.S. Women's Open at Lancaster Country Club. And there's Hannah pictured there with the Shark himself, Greg Norman, the Aussies banding together back then. Kari Webb part of it there in the lower left as well. So they are a tight group, and Green very thankful for what the Hall of Famer has given her. Now the fourth for Jutanugarn here.
She may well be further away than Hannah Green for par.
Yeah, she seems really out of sorts to me. Everything seems to be a little bit out of sync. She's not hitting as many greens in regulation as she has the rest of the week, or fairways. That to me is just a sign of a bit of quickness.
Let's go to 18.
And this is a birdie attempt for Lydia Ko, who came into the weekend with hopes of contending, but fired a 74 yesterday. Just didn't have the right stuff this week. That is a 75, or actually a 68 today for Lydia. So she turned it around after the 76 yesterday. Unbelievable run she made as a teenager. Has cooled off a bit the last couple of years, but good final round for Lydia Ko. Back to 11.
Talked about Lizette Salas and her journey to the LPGA Tour. She attended the University of Southern California, USC, one of 5 players in the field to have played at USC. She was so nervous when the coach called her that she was too scared to call him back and almost let that opportunity slip away, would you believe? Let's go to 12 quickly.
And a second for Nelly Korda, Jerry.
Just an 8 iron, a little one according to her caddy Jason McDeed from 146. Slight breeze helping, very smooth swing, but this is hanging well out to the right of the hole.
Tough par 4, and Korda's on in regulation. Back at 11.
She then went on to become the first 4-time All-America at USC on the women's golf team, and the first member of her family to graduate from college. And she made a wonderful speech when she graduated to the graduating class. Lizette missing a good opportunity there. And we go back to 12.
Sung Hyun Park is next to play.
Got a little unlucky here. Hit a good looking tee shot that just ran a little left. Ran out of fairway now in that first cut of rough, which is quite strong for a first cut.
Even with the 9 there. How much help have we got? Okay. Oh, hold 5. So we're looking to pitch at 25. That's playing 20. The front is playing 15. I think it's a pitching wedge. I think it's a hard pitching wedge, but you keep it a bit to the right. There's going to be 8 or 9 in the ground out of this lie.
All right, well, they continue to discuss that. We zip back to 11.
And this par putt for Area
becomes huge, obviously for the championship itself, but also mentally for her not to take advantage of this par 5. And not to walk away with a bogey. Incredible. She hasn't birdied this hole all week.
That's an absolute shocker. I mean, she could have knocked it on the green in 2 and made an eagle, and think about the impact that would have had, and she's going to walk away with a 6. And she was, you know, a lot of people yesterday talking about Hannah Green being nervous. Well, Area Jutanagan said, you know what, I feel nervous too when I play in these situations. And wow, that is a head scratcher. Let's go to 12.
And Park now ready to go.
She did indeed go with the pitching wedge. This should be all out here. She hits irons so high in the air. This is well right of the hole.
Oh, the ball didn't come out anywhere near the way they expected, and that'll trickle back away from the green a little bit.
Back at 11.
Still a little bit of work to do, Mark, for Hannah Green.
Now, just like Kay said about Arias, I think this is a big putt mentally, because Hannah must know she made a course management mistake on her 3rd shot. She played way too aggressive from that distance, went over the green. But I'll bet there's a little jolt of energy that came into her when Area missed.
Wow. It's, what, 3 in a row that she's missed.
Yeah, 9, 10, and 11.
So bogey for Hannah Green. You've got to look back to the tee shot being in the rough. Kari Webb, of course, watching on. I thought Kari looked more nervous than anyone watching. That's her boyfriend there, Jared Felton. Hannah's boyfriend. He's a professional himself. In fact, he finished 5th in the European Tour event last year in Fiji. So he's a pretty good player. 2 shots is the lead here for Hannah Green.
The PGA of America, inspiring the future of the sport and the golfer in all of us. Well, it's certainly tightened up in the last few moments here at Hazeltine. 9 players now within 4 of Green, the leader, including Park at 12.
Steeply uphill. Wow, that's got to go.
Park still without a bogey today, hoping to stay that way. Back on the tee of this beautiful dogleg right 421-yard par 4. Jutanagarn with that powerful 3-wood in hand.
Beautiful it is, Dan, but also very demanding. Fairway bunkers on the right are no good. They're deep, and the rough is some of the thickest on the course on the left.
Had it a little left there, Mark. Yep.
And that is going to scamper into that really thick rough.
That to me looked like she was trying to hit the fairway as opposed to just swinging. That looked very guidey for her.
So we'll see how Green reacts here with 2 bogeys in the last 3 holes. Said she got a little nervous in the later stages yesterday when play got delayed and she slowed down in the last few holes and kind of was thinking about things.
She's got an unusual swing, Karen. I mean, there's a lot of face rotation as the club goes away. Swing really predicated on rhythm. And that looked to be a little quick as well.
And that will find the left rough also.
All right, while we have a moment, let's send you down to Kay Cockrell.
Thanks, Dan. I'm alongside Kari Webb, who won this championship in 2001. It was the 4th major of the 7 that you currently have. You've experienced everything in this game. I can't imagine what it's like for you being out here watching Hannah, someone you've supported and care so much for. What is it like?
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience. And back on the last hole there, I just said to Jared, her boyfriend, I said, I'm starting to get nervous now. So, yeah, because obviously when I'm inside the ropes, I have the control, and outside you've got no control. And you know, she's handling herself great, and you know, there's a lot of golf left, so there's plenty of Aussies out here supporting her, so hopefully she can get it done.
Well, you know what it's like to sleep on a lead and try to win for the first time, much less try to win a major for the first time. Did she ask you for advice, and what advice did you give her?
Yeah, this morning she was pretty quiet. She slept well, though, because we had a loud clap of thunder in the middle of the night that shook the house, and she never heard it. So I thought that was a good sign that she had slept really soundly, and the nerves hadn't gotten to her last night. So, yeah, she was quiet this morning, but Hannah's not a big talker anyway, so we were just discussing how great our Aussie barbecue was last night and how much fun she had. So so that was good that she had a relaxing evening.
Well, hopefully she can take those good vibes and continue on and get it done. Thanks for the thoughts, Dan.
Great work by Kari. There's a Kari Webb series that takes these young golfers around Australia, some 15 tournaments, and the top 2 finishers get $10,000, an all expense paid trip to a major like this with Kari Webb, and Hannah Green trying to take all of that knowledge into today. Over at the 12th, Nelly Korda trying to make some noise. Never had a chance.
No, and as the time goes along in this tournament, at some point one of these players chasing has to make a decent length putt.
Big sister Jessica is over at 18 for birdie. Beginning of the day at +1, so Nelly has had the better week. And so a par finish for Jessica. Final round of 1 under 71. She had 4 birdies on the front 9. Who's going to be the better player in the end? Who's going to have more wins, Nelly or Jessica, by the time their careers are over? I'm putting you on the spot here, I know.
Well, funny you asked that. Well, I played with Jessica a number of years ago before Nelly even came out, and she said, watch out for my sister. She's going to be better than me. So in Jessica's words, she thinks her own sister will be better.
Well, Jessica's got the 5 wins to Nelly's 2, and they've got a lot of golf left in their careers, no doubt. And back over to the defending champ for par at 12. Got to make these.
Yeah, at this stage of the proceedings, you cannot afford to give shots away.
So that's the first drop shot for Sung Hyun Park. This is Miriam Lee, 3rd over at the par 5 15th just earlier. Having a pretty good day. Comes to this 15th 1 under on the day.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, it just got a little better.
We've seen that before on that hole, Dan. Back in the Ryder Cup in 2016 with Patrick Reed holing out there at 15 from about the same length.
Sending reverberations throughout Hazeltine. Still the loudest cheers I've ever heard on a golf course. So the eagle drops for Lee, and back for the bogey attempt now for Park. It is a part of her game that goes up and down from time to time. But the first drop shot for her, and she fades 3 back. And a tie there at 6 under with Se-Young Kim. Green still leading Nelly Korda now by 2 shots. You can watch more live golf with PGA Tour Live on NBC Sports Gold. Subscribe now to catch exclusive coverage from all 4 rounds only on PGA Tour Live. Back to 12 with the final group, and Hannah Green. Mark.
She's got 175 yards. The lie is mediocre, so she's going to have to scoot it up onto the green. The opening that she's looking at is just to the right of the hole location, uphill.
Yeah, Mark, there is a pond over there short and right of the green. She actually found that in round 2 out of the left rough.
This is in danger. No, I think it's going to be all right.
Yeah, she found that body of water that you see there, and then just promptly pitched in from 54 yards out for par.
Well, she's going to need to test all her scrambling skills from there. We've just seen Sun Hyun Park not be able to get down in 2 from a similar position.
Well, we think Salas is away and will play next.
She is. She hit the only drive in the fairway, and where does the ball end up? Partially in a divot. So it's kind of a weird lie, Karen. It's half in, half out of the divot. She'll have to pay attention.
I always think it's very important when you get a lie like this on the fairway and you're in a divot to go approach it with a really good positive mental attitude, almost like I'm going to just show everybody how good I am from a divot.
Well, and the players of this caliber, Karen, they know how to deal with this situation. I mean, you put the ball back in your stance just a little bit. You try to be just a little steeper into the ball to make sure that you catch the ball before you catch any ground. Shot will usually come out a little lower.
Boy, it seemed to be a good, clean strike.
Oh, a little unfortunate. Straight hop, and that's up within about 15 feet of the hole.
And Jatanagarn also from the thick stuff.
Yeah, this is not a good lie, but she has a pretty steep descending blow and really chopped at that one. Caught a lot of grass before the ball.
I'm going to tell you, that's an indication of how thick this bluegrass rough is. Topped at 3.5 inches earlier in the week, but you know it's longer than that now with the rain we've had. And when she can't reach the green, that's tough stuff.
Up ahead at 13 in solo second at the moment. Nelly Korda, 177 yards.
Karen, this whole location, we're going to see some good shots today. The ball wants to feed to where the hole is. It wants to move down into that low left.
Oh, it just missed it by a few feet, didn't it?
It did.
So Hannah Green holding on at the moment. 2 shots clear of Nelly Korda, and 3 others 3 back. Well, I certainly speak on behalf of our entire Golf Channel and NBC crew that we are all thinking about our colleague Steve Sands on this Sunday. Steve's mother Bonnie passed away earlier today, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Stevie and his entire family during this difficult time. Take care, pal. We're all thinking about you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Another nervous little chip here for Hannah Green, short of the green at 12.
She's relied on this part of her game. She leads the field.
Oh.
That's way short.
Oh. And that was not that hard a shot, Karen. She had a little cushion, ball sitting in the intermediate cut of rough. That was very tentative. Ooh,
okay.
Getting tougher.
Up at 18, Mel Reid. It has not been so tough for her today. She is on the verge of the best finish of her LPGA Tour career, and walking that one in at 18 for her 8th birdie in this round. Most by any player this week. 66 for Mel Reid, the low round, her low round of the year, and the low round of this championship. What a Sunday for Mel Reid, the 31-year-old from England. Back over to 12. This was just earlier, Jutanagarn's third, and she left it short.
What is going on?
The pressure of a major championship.
Yeah,
No kidding.
Salas in her third.
Well, neither of the first two shots were that difficult, I didn't think. This one is just very straightforward.
So Salas is going to save it, but Jutanagarn and Green have lengthy par putts remaining. It's going to keep Salas at 500, and she keeps hanging around. She could be a factor here. Cranking out pars could be good amidst all of this heat. Over at 13, Jerry.
Say Young Kim getting ready to play her second shot from the rough. I don't know how you physically get the ball here with your tee shot. It looked like it might have a chance to go in while it was in the air. Landed on that downslope in the rough short of the green and stayed there. Now this, a very delicate little pitch. Gary talked about how this green feeds to this hole from the center. This is downhill and breaking left, and you just have to make some sort of predictable contact. That is not easy.
Chipped in here yesterday for a 2.
Caught a flyer there. You can do that on even the shortest of shots.
Over to 12, and it's another scramble for par for Green, Mark.
It really feels like gut check time for Hannah Green for me right now. She just can't wildly rip this one at the hole. The wind is straight behind her. Much longer putt than she had in mind.
That's got to go.
It's going to be another bogey for Green, and that is 3 in the last 4 holes.
She's going to have to change her thinking. She's got to stop trying to not lose. She's got to start to try to win.
Well, needs to go back to that attitude that you talked about at the start of the show. You know, she's got nothing to lose.
No.
I mean, she might as well go for it.
Well, in her own words, before this round, she said, I got to go out there and have fun. It's not going to be any good if I'm miserable out there and I'm sick to my stomach. And that was what she was concentrating on last night. Maria Fassi, 21-year-old who recently turned professional, who took second in the Augusta National Women's Amateur to Jennifer Kupcho, made the cut, just getting her career started. That's 3 birdies in a row for Fassi, and 4 in the last 5 holes as she's finishing up over on the front side. One more hole for Maria from Mexico to finish up her major championship here. And over at 13, Nelly Korda for birdie.
Yeah, 25, maybe 30 feet, but very, very slippery. Just a defensive putt by definition here.
But suddenly has a chance to tie for the lead. Nelly Korda almost got it done. By the way, there's now 8 players within 3 of Green's lead. Things have tightened up significantly with all these bogeys being made by Green and Jutanagarn. Nelly Korda is right there. No bogeys on her card today. She's been one of the steadiest. Jutanagarn for par 12. Another bogey for her.
Well, it's amazing. Hannah Green only had 3 bogeys for the entire first 3 rounds, and now she's made 3 in her last 4 holes. And Karen, you've been there. You've won a major championship. It is not easy to accomplish.
No, it's nobody said it was ever going to be easy, and you just have to ride through these waves of stress.
Over to 9.
This is Nasa Hataoka, who's had a really good day today. This is for a round of 65. So talk about earning some cash on a Sunday. She is going to make her way through the field there with that 65. No wonder she's happy. A very promising player from Japan. Wow, we have got a tournament here. Green leads by 1.
Lizette Salas, who is right in it, just 3 back with this flurry of bogeys being made by the players around her, getting ready to tee off the par 3 13th.
And this is a championship hole location today, all the way on the left, 177. Wind pushing from behind.
We use our top tracer through the gray overcast skies of Hazeltine here.
Starts it right toward the center of the green, drawing it back toward the hole a little.
That should be good if it'll just hang on.
Up ahead to the par 5 15th, the older sister of Area. This is Moria Jutanagarn for birdie, trying to get it to 2 under. Right back to where she started the day. So even on the day for Moria, who's been such a great influence and support system for Area through the years. And we'll go to the little sister back at the 13th tee.
The little sister with the big game. And she has to listen to her own words that she said yesterday, that she needed to be tough and stay patient. And at this point, she has to forget the mistakes that she's had already today and focus on these last 5 holes.
Okay, with her ball flight a little higher and a little softer than some of the other players, I think she has a real chance to get this ball close to the hole. Everything wants to feed to that hole location.
That combined with being able to hit a 7-iron, but she's pulled this a bit.
Yeah, clearly off. That's not where you're trying to go. You're trying to go a little right of that hole, not left.
Up to 14.
So many people in the mix here. Imby Park has a chance to get it to 6 under par within 2 of the lead. It's not going to drop in. Imby was known as one of the great putters in the game, but the last couple of seasons she has struggled with that club. Let's go back to 13.
And it has been a struggle the last few holes for Hannah Green.
I think when you get a little nervous sometimes, Gary, your transition from the backswing to the downswing gets too quick. She's pulled the last 2 tee shots.
You don't want to pull it here. Looks like a better swing.
Yeah, it's not pulled, definitely.
Yeah, it'll be just fine. I'll get just through the back of the green, but no real problems.
Well, wrapping up another great week. Excited by the visit always of Lynn Dowdy, U.S. Chairman and CEO of KPMG. I'm sure things went very well for you guys this week. We had no delays, a little weather in the area, but congratulations on another great week. And I know it's highlighted with the Wednesday Women's Leadership Summit. We've talked about it in the past, but it's worth touching on again.
Well, the theme of the entire week is inspiring greatness, and we did just that this week, Wednesday at the Women's Leadership Summit, where we had 300 women from 90 top companies from across the world who were being inspired by Mia Hamm, who won our Inspired Greatness Award winner, Susie Whaley, Condoleezza Rice, executives from Bank of America, Target, Bloomberg, and all to give back to our future leaders. And that is really why we do this. 100% of the proceeds, as you know, Dan, go to fund scholarships to the KPMG future leaders. We had some of them here on site with us this week, and they inspire us.
It is
that's what it's all about.
Such a great group of leaders, and it's been an incredible group of golf courses that this championship has been able to be taken around to, not only Hazeltine this year, but tell us about some of the future sites that we're looking forward to heading to.
Yes, well, Hazeltine National is amazing, but we're also headed to Aronimink Golf Club, Congressional Country Club, Baltusrol as well, and this gives us the opportunity to showcase these amazing women who are just inspiring athletes for all of us, and to be able to showcase them on courses like this and network TV coverage like NBC is just fantastic.
Oh, congratulations once again for all your efforts, KPMG, in collaboration with the PGA of America and the LPGA Tour. I know there's a waiting list to get into the Women's Leadership Summit, and I'm sure your guys are going to be feeling it again next year, but congratulations, Lynn, all you have done for elevating this great championship through the years. At 18 is Lexi Thompson finishing up. Comes up a little short, and I'm sure Lexi will be looking forward to a little time off, as she's been in contention virtually every time she's teed it up in the last few weeks.
The last 3 finishes, second, first, and second. So, yeah, definitely a little time away. People don't understand sometimes, Dan, how much that takes out of you mentally when you're in contention like that every week.
Hannah Green was talking about it, you know, being in contention and being in this position for the very first time in her career. And yes, she's won on the Symetra Tour, but this has been a whole other ball game for her here, playing this delicate little chip here from the back collar. See if she can make some good contact this time, Mark.
Yeah, contact is critical. This one is going to have some pace to it going down the hill.
Yeah, well played.
Really like the rhythm on that.
That was very good, and sometimes in this situation, that's all it takes. Hit one good shot, kind of steady things.
Jin Young Ko, top-ranked player in the world with her third, the par 5 15th.
This whole location today at 15 accessible, Karen. We'll see some good shots, especially with wedges back into the wind. Players able to stop the ball right around the hole.
Should be another birdie for her to get it to 3 under, 1 under for the day, and back to 13. And we've got another little sticky situation here for Jutanagarn, Kay.
Yes, although she is chipping back uphill and the ball is sitting well in the rough.
Salas first to play here, it appears. Yep, looks like she's going.
Yeah, her shot is a little bit different than the one that Hannah had. Lizette's is more directly behind the hole, so it's going to be fast also. The issue here is hers is going to turn to the right once it gets on the green.
Karen, keep waiting for someone to hit a miracle shot. You know, you just kind of sense that if somebody were to, you know, chip in or make a long putt, that it could just turn this whole thing around.
So much about this game is momentum.
Oh, that's not going to be it.
No, it's really not.
That one got away. International field here at this KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And speaking of getting around the world, the next Olympics being held next summer in Tokyo. 1 year, 1 month, 1 day away from those games beginning, and a lot of these players with Olympic experience, and again, golf a part of the Olympic sports scene in Tokyo. Brooke Henderson for Canada, and so many players looking forward to another chance at an Olympic medal. Korda at the 14th.
A delicate shot. It was makeable, but not this time. And we'll go over to the 9th, and Maria Farsi finishing up. And this one for par. Coming in here with 3 consecutive birdies. She's got a big week coming up next week, as she's going to be heading to the LPGA event in Northwest Arkansas. And she went to the University of Arkansas, so she's going to be back to home turf in terms of her college career, and she'll have a lot of support there. Let's go to the tee at the 14th, and Gary set this up.
Yeah, short par 4, Tom, 336 yards. It's all about position off the tee. Avoid the huge fairway bunker down the right-hand side. And second shot, a short one, played uphill. A false front that you have to play over. Whole location on the left today, and you would think fairly accessible with a short iron in your hand if you're playing from the fairway.
About middle of the pack in terms of ease or difficulty on this golf course, but only 9 birdies today. Lizette Salas on the tee.
She's got a driver, not totally necessary here. In fact, fairway gets narrower the further up you go. And good one here by Lizette up the left-hand side. Should be fine.
I suppose there is a time when you're 3 shots back, you've got to start to be a little more aggressive if it's going to be a victory. Let's go to 16.
Megan Kang playing the par 4. Has a good day going. 4 under round, 5 under for the championship.
And very safe, and boy, that's going to just get off the green into that primary cut of rough. Will not be an easy third shot there.
Back to 14.
And area Jutanagarn.
Where the fairway starts narrowing down, like Mark said. It's about 240 to the bunker on the right where that narrowing starts. And that was her long iron, left center.
Yeah, that's just fine. Okay, Korda needs to take care of this par.
Just a little inside 3 feet.
Okay. 1 behind. Already a winner this year, winner in Australia. And now back to the tee with Hannah Green.
If she can avoid that low pull, trees and deep rough on the left here. And she avoided it. This is a nice one.
few spots of rain coming down. We heard earlier in the week that Hannah Green's so laid back she didn't even have any rain pants. Well, I spoke to her boyfriend today. He actually borrowed some from another player, Laura Gonzalez Escazon, so she does have rain pants today. Now Jutanagan at the 14th.
Tom, she's pulled out a wedge, 134 to the hole, that may play just a little bit longer. Plays 3 yards uphill, and this air is quite heavy. I left this one way out to the right. Everything is just off with area so far today.
Well, this year she's had 2 top 5 finishes. This time last year she's had 2 wins, part of 7 top 5s.
Yeah, Green and Jutanagarn, the 2 over par that are in contention. Here's your shot to join Rory and Team TaylorMade in South Florida. Enter the Golf Pass Team TaylorMade Experience Sweepstakes, where you'll be treated like a TaylorMade pro. Enter now at golfpass.com/team TaylorMade. Back to 14.
Well, Lizette Salas is trying to get the calculation right.
I've got it at 118. It is up the hill, pretty much into the wind. Hole location over on the left. But she can play her little draw. I think maybe be aggressive here.
I think because Lizette Salas doesn't hit the ball all that far, this is one of those holes that she really does need to take advantage of.
Well, and she doesn't spin the ball too much either, so I think you know, if she can carry it the right distance, the ball should stop right there. It's not going to spin back.
Okay, just right of the hole. Good distance control, though.
And she will have a putt to get to 6 under. Now, Hannah Green.
She needs to find a little bit of a spark, Karen, and I think she could do it right here with this shot, right here. 102 to the hole.
I think important for her is just to stay with her rhythm.
Asking for a big bounce. Doesn't need one. That's going to be fine.
Excellent.
And she will have a good look to get back to 9 under, where she started this final round. Let's go to 15.
Inbee Park for birdie. Part of that big group at 5 under.
Yeah, slow one here, steeply up the hill.
Has really struggled with her putting recently. We saw a bit of that yesterday too.
Yeah, we certainly did. Statistically, not one of her strengths anymore, which is hard to imagine.
Hannah Green trying to go wire to wire, win for the first time out here on the LPGA Tour. It is not easy. It has been a struggle, but she's hanging in at Hazeltine. The KPMG Women's PGA Championship is brought to you by Golf Galaxy, the best place to better your game. By U.S. Bank, unlock your possible. And by Rolex, the official timepiece of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Some sprinkles in the area of the Minneapolis area, and aerial coverage presented by Club Gloves, TRS Ballistic, #1 in professional golf, and the new standard in American-made luggage. So through the mist, they play on at Hazeltine. All sorts of possibilities to see how this leaderboard shuffles out by the end of the day. We go out to the 15th to learn a little more. Second at the par 5 for Nelly Korda, who's got the length.
Well, I'm not going to reach it in 2 today, Dan. Back into the breeze, a little softer, but excellent shot. Left side of the fairway. Great angle for the hole cut over on the right.
And one of the very few players, Gary, with a bogey-free round going. Korda just right one back. 16, Kang for par. Big putt for her.
Well, and this is a big week for her too. She's trying to solidify her position on the American Solheim Cup teams. She's currently 8th in the standings, and this will go a long way.
How about that card? And she's trying to stay in the hunt at this championship. Again, Mel Reid is the leader in the clubhouse at 6 under to 14.
Is that Salas for birdie?
Trying to get it to turn to the left up at the hole. Oh, did she hit it?
She did not.
Wow, dead center.
Solheim Cup is coming up in September. It'll be played at Glen Eagles in Scotland. Mirim Lee, you saw during our playing through commercial break. Mirim Lee hit a lovely tee shot here, and there's a good birdie at the 17th. The 17th is accessible today with the hole on the front of the green. Could add some excitement. The green sort of feeds down towards that hole. A few holes away yet for this final group. They're on the 14th, and Hannah Green has this for a birdie, and this would go a long way to steadying her nerves over the last few holes.
Boy, it sure would. Not the easiest putt to read back in this corner. It looks to me like it wants to go a little left.
It's trying, but it's not going to.
Yeah, almost dead straight.
So it'll just be a par. Good at 15.
Good opportunity here for Nelly Korda, Jerry.
Very good. 51 yards. Plenty of green with which to work. A little bit of an uphill lie. She could make this one dance around the hole. Needs a spin.
Didn't really spin.
No, I thought it would have a little more check on it playing into the breeze than that.
So disappointing third there for Korda.
It's been a wonderful rookie season for Jong-un Lee 6. She won the US Women's Open a few weeks ago. This is her final hole, and trying to chip it in for 3 consecutive birdies.
You can see by the mark on her ball there, embracing 6 big time. Tom?
Yeah, just a few weeks ago at a tournament, we had some fans saying, "Where's 6? Where's 6?" You know, the word is spreading. People just call her 6. Why not? And she's embraced it. Jong-un Lee 6 is referred to by a number because there are 6 players with the same name on the Korean LPGA Tour, so they each have a number to differentiate them. It is pretty normal on the Korean Tour for players to do that. They have a lot of similar names.
Next year, as you heard Lynn Dowdy explain, Ronimec Golf Club is the site for the 2020 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. It is a great venue, and you can purchase tickets there or register to volunteer by visiting KPMGWomen'sPGA.com. Philadelphia area. Great spirit of golf there as well, and also right here in the state of Minnesota. Third for Se-Young Kim at 15.
And she was playing for that to release, having seen Nelly Korda's ball pitch and go over the back of the green.
17.
So talking about the flag being an exciting position, let's see what Megan Kang does here. And that might feed back slightly. No, just going to hang there. Good at 15.
And Park, third shot right in front of the green, Jerry.
Yeah, 2 huge ones to get to here. This one uphill a little bit into the green. That's nicely done.
Have that for birdie to inch Park a little closer to 7 under. She could get within 1 of green in a tie for second with Korda. And over at 14.
It's a moment ago, Ariya Jutanugarn ran her birdie putt past to here, and it is a 3-putt bogey for Ariya Jutanugarn, and she is going to fall to 4 over par in this final round. I'm not so sure many people saw that coming. I thought it was going to be the other way.
The statistics were suggesting that she would play well.
Little chip back down to the hole for birdie at 15, Jerry.
She has handled these very well, and this is the kind of lie that has given a lot of other players trouble. What she does differently is she doesn't try and hit it with a really steep descending blow. She just slides the club under it.
And a little left. 4 par for Nelly Korda to remain 1 back. She's got 1 top 10 in a major. Again, just 20 years old, but already out here her 3rd year on tour. Over at the 8th, Christy Kerr.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Christy yesterday, didn't we, Dan? She said it has been a struggle. She is really not hitting the ball well. Grinding away, though, as she always does, and a nice final 9 there. 3 birdies and no bogeys.
On the tee at 15, the par 5 up the hill. Hannah Green hanging on.
Be a 3-shot hole. for Hannah.
Looks like she's got a little bit of her old rhythm back here.
She looked a little more comfortable with that.
Maybe she got through her rough patch, just trying to avoid the divots there. She threads the needle. And back up to 15 for Kim's big birdie attempt.
And she missed one of similar length on the last hole. But she has not counted herself out of this yet. This one turning just a little bit right.
No, she's not out of it. She makes this, and she's right there. It's just not going to turn that far to the right. But Sung Hyun Park will have an excellent chance to move it to 7 under. Short birdie putt upcoming for her as Se-Young Kim taps in to remain at 5 under, 3 back. And we'll keep it right here for Park, who, we talked about it earlier this week, Karen, is a huge star back in South Korea. She's got all kinds of talent. They call her Tiger.
Yep.
And she is a rock star back home and won this championship last year in a playoff. And we were talking about how she was going to take over the world of golf, has that much talent. There she is, lifting the championship trophy last year at Kemper Lakes.
I don't think I've ever witnessed a female golfer garnish such hysteria around their person when they're playing golf over in Korea. They just want to swarm around her, the fans, her fan club that travels around even to America to watch her play.
This is well, it's not kind of. This is the weakness of her game. Excellent ball striker, long hitter, and sometimes she just, as you said, gets a little stuck, gets too close to the ball here, but that is comfortable for her. This for birdie to get to 1 back.
When she does that, she misses these putts right, and this one's turning a little right.
Drills that one home, and Sung Hyun Park has tied Nelly Korda at the 2nd position, just 1 back of green. 3 holes left for the defending champion, and Korda's not in yet to remain at 7 under.
She's handled these all weekend long quite easily, without mistake, actually, the short ones. This one right center. But we all know on greens this fast, championship conditions on Sunday, they're never easy.
Uh-oh.
What a mistake.
Well,
Making a 6 when you've got a 50-yard third shot.
it was a great position after those 2 shots. Garrigan just threw it away. Costly bogey for Korda. Her first of the day comes at a par 5. 3 holes left for her. It's going to be more of an uphill battle here in Chaska, Minnesota. Playing through the mist and the fog on a summer day in June. Championship Sunday. Hannah Green by 1. And wherever your journey is headed, a PGA professional will help you get there. Find your PGA professional at pga.com/journeys. 65th edition of this KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Nearly all the greats have won it. Mickey Wright, Kathy Whitworth, Nancy Lopez, on and on. Annika Sorenstam, and the latest trophy is up for grabs today, and it is in the balance. A number of players have a chance. Ariya Jutanugarn, as you look at the tee shots at the par 5 15th. And what is ahead for this final threesome? Tough layup in there. It gets very narrow, so you got to kind of pick your layup spot.
Exactly, unless you have the length to get it up to where the fairway widens again. Uh-oh.
Oh, that is.
Well, it gets over one band of bunkers.
And stays short of the next. Woo-hoo.
Fortunate.
Yes.
That has been a bit of a theme at times for Hannah Green this week. Sung Hyun Park on the tee at 16. Dangerous tee shot.
Really tough today, Dan. Wind in and from the right. Totally different than what it's been earlier in the week. So playing considerably longer.
Solid shot up the right side for Park. 1 back with that birdie at 15.
This is a tricky putt here at 17. Down the hill. Moving left to right, as you can see. And turns right in front of the hole. Let's go back to 16.
Korda's on the tee, Jerry.
Breeze in and from the right. Couldn't have a more difficult wind for this hole. Shaping left to right. That's a very, very similar shot to Sunghoon Park's.
Yep, I'll be fine. Good job, bud.
Yep, good solid shot for Korda.
Well, and good to regroup after obviously quite a frustrating hole at the last.
Not the first time that she's bogeyed at par 5 this week.
Third bogey on a par 5. Unbelievable for a player of her length.
Miriam Lee trying to make something happen here at the last. Her third. And the best she can do is get in at 5 under. Again, Mel Reed has been sitting in the clubhouse with a round of 66 at 6 under, waiting to see how this all unfolds. Salas is away now at the par 5 15th.
136 yards for Lizette to the hole. The wind is into her and from the left slightly. Drove the ball in the fairway bunker on the left and had a very difficult layup. Hit a beauty to get it to here. And I would have to think she's a little surprised right now to be as close as she is.
Yeah, even par round, Mark, and began the day 4 back of green, but Green's +1 on the day. Jutanagarn is faded with a +4 round, and Salas is still right there. A birdie here would help her cause big time.
Got an 8-iron. Going to try and turn it back into the wind a little, I think. This looks good.
Got to go.
Wow, the air wind just knocked it right out of the sky.
Jutanagarn is next, Kay.
Mishit her 3-wood completely and was lucky it didn't go into that bunker that she's right on the edge of. Instead nestled down in that thick rough, gouging it out with a sand wedge.
Yeah, very difficult to control the distance coming out of that rough, especially when it's wet.
And how fortunate did Hannah Green get, Mark?
I think she would tell you right now, as she has a number of times this week, she was lucky. This could easily have ended up in a much worse spot. She's only 81 yards, so pretty comfortable distance now.
And she said yesterday after her round that she knows she's been a bit lucky, but Curry Webb talked to her in the morning and said, you need a bit of luck to win tournaments.
Oh, hoists it right back there, and she'll have another good look at birdie. Hasn't made one since the 7th hole. Lizette Salas for birdie at the 15th.
Up the hill, slowish putt.
She's going to get it there.
Oh,
She
yes,
is
she
going to
is.
get it there. Lizette Salas moves to 6 under. Patient, hammering away, slowly, and finally gets her second birdie at the 15th to get within 2.
Well, as Mark Rolfing alluded to, just a really slow putt, so had to be hit extremely solidly, and was.
Right into the dead center of the stick. Jutanagarn is next.
Have you gotten used to seeing a ball go in with the flagstick in like that?
I don't really think about it too much
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean, Kay, I guess we're, mid-year. We've seen it a lot.
Similar putt, but more left to right to it.
And it's going to be a par for Jutanagarn, who's running out of holes.
And she hasn't birdied a par 5 today. In fact, is 1 over on the holes.
So an upcoming huge birdie attempt for Hannah Green. And over at the 16th, a birdie attempt for Danielle Kang. Just earlier, won here a couple of years ago, not at this course, but this championship.
Yeah, and that's just the 6th birdie on the 16th the entire day. It is playing as the hardest hole on the course.
Kang trying to make a late run, is 3 back, 5 under. And now back in the fairway is Park with her second, Jerry.
Yeah, 155 to the hole, but cannot get this near the flagstick without playing a little bit of a fade. The line to the flagstick just inches clear of that tree, 20 yards ahead. This is a 6-iron into a good breeze from the right. Oh my, what a good looking shot. It's going to be left of the hole, but that was solid.
Yeah, well done.
Back at 15 for birdie to get to 9 under, 2 clear.
If it weren't for the circumstances, this would not be that hard a putt.
Little break left.
Oh, she has been burning the edges.
That was a good stroke.
Oof.
Yep, that was that flowing stroke that she had most of the time earlier in the week. Back at 16, Korda's second.
6 iron as well. Had a clean line, but pulled it a little bit left side of the green.
Got to get lucky. Ooh, that's some very thick rough.
So Lizette Salas with a birdie to make it a little bit more interesting at the top. Moves into that tie now with Mel Reid in. Nelly Korda. Hannah Green by 1 over Park. And you can download the LPGA app for iPhone, iPad, and Android today. Visit lpga.com/apps for more information. 65th edition of this championship. It's been held since 1955. Mickey Wright, 4-time winner. All of the greats seemingly have won at MB Park, won it 3 years in a row. Sayri Pak, Annika Sorenstam, the list goes on and on. And Hannah Green is hoping she becomes a part of all that history today. So does Sung Hyun Park for the 2nd time. Trying to go back-to-back as we set up this dangerous 16th one more time.
A signature hole, 375-yard par 4, penalty area on the right, penalty area on the left. We've seen the second shot to the Peninsula Green that is guarded by penalty area right and behind. Hardest hole on the course today. Starts with the tee shot, must get it in play.
Salas off the long birdie that dropped at 15, taken out driver.
Yeah, she is trying to take this hole on.
Center of the fairway. Excellent shot.
Well, what she gives up in length, she definitely makes up for in accuracy.
Accuracy. Top 10 on the LPGA Tour this season in driving accuracy.
And another driver here for Hannah Green.
Yeah, this is a pretty aggressive play for her, but she's made some beautiful swings with the driver really in the last hour. I thought the one at 15T was a beauty.
Now, more double bogeys on this hole today than any hole on the golf course.
And typically when a player tees up on the left side of the tee, they're looking to hit a draw.
Well, biggest tee shot of her career right here. Get it in the fairway. And you can almost see the finish line.
Boy, did she hit this one hard. Beautiful line.
Oh, that's great. That was really well done.
To stay out of the divot. While Green was hitting that, this was the 3rd for Nelly Korda. Thick rough left of the green.
Yeah, and straight downhill to the hole.
That was nicely done.
It really was, but it needs to slow down. It's just so fast going in that direction.
Korda will have that to avoid back-to-back bogeys. And back on the tee is Jutanagarn with an iron. Just that familiar whack.
And that's a good one to the left side of the fairway.
Sets up short of Salas and Green. And so everybody's in the fairway in this final threesome. Up at 17.
And the champion a couple of years ago on the tee at this par 3. Shortest yardage of the week here, just 145. And needs a little hop. Oh yes, it's going to be fine. It's actually going to be in a good spot there below the hole. Not easy to keep it below the hole today with that hole location. We're coming down the stretch here at the KPMG Women's PGA Championships.
Beautiful attempt for birdie by Sung Hyun Park at 16. One more look at this. This had every look of going down just with the right speed and topple it in from the left side. Instead, she's got 2 holes left, still trailing by 1, trying to win this championship back-to-back. Stays at 7 under. Se-Young Kim is next, Jerry.
Yeah, this unfortunately for a 6. Tee shot went left in the penalty area. Took a drop from there. Second shot too aggressive with a 7-iron. Right in the penalty area. Took another drop and pitched it to here. That's what can happen on this hole. That's an expensive 7.
So Se-Young Kim's hopes disintegrate at 16. With a triple and a huge par putt here for Korda to stay at 6 under with a couple holes left, 2 back.
She got a good line on what this will do as the pitch shot just slowly rolled past the hole. This one's slightly back uphill, but you're right. Huge at this moment.
Stays at 6 under, avoids the back-to-back bogeys. And we'll head over to the par 3 17th and the demanding 18th still up ahead.
At the 17th, Inby Park for birdie. This is a really quick putt down the hill, and she's not got it high enough, not even close.
No, it wasn't a particularly good stroke, Tom. She kind of cut across that one.
And go back over to 16.
From high above, Jutanagarn first to play her second in this final group.
That's a 7-iron trying to cut it, but instead pulling it with a draw.
Way left. Ugh.
Just what a difference a day makes. I mean, yesterday she barely missed a shot.
Yeah, crazy game.
Salas will be next.
.143 yards for Lizette, right back into the wind.
Been out here 8 years on tour, 1 win. It came 5 years ago at Kingsmill, and she has been the slow, steady force here today that has given her a chance.
Unbelievable. Just 4 bogeys for the entire championship. But at some point, Mark, she may have to think in terms of being a little more aggressive.
Yeah, this is a pretty hard shot, though, from 143.
And we'll use our top tracer to show it to you.
That's aggressive. Oh, right over the flagstick.
Almost looked like it was kind of hovering over the water there for a moment. And look at the drive by Hannah Green, 242 out there. Some 32 yards ahead of Jutanagarn.
That's arguably one of the best swings she's made the entire week.
It's the best drive I've seen her hit this week, Gary. It was a wonderful swing. 131 yards to the hole. Very high shot, turning just left of the flag.
Oh, yeah.
Just what she needed to do.
Absolutely. 2 of her best swings at just the right time.
As long as she can get the contact here with that grass behind the ball, it's a good chance for birdie. Just didn't hit it, and just wiping the face there. I wonder if there's a little bit of grass between the putter and the ball. Back to the 16th.
So is Hannah Green on her way here? She comes from a very interesting background. Her mom is Scottish. Her dad is from New Zealand. And Hannah, an only child, told me last night how her parents got together.
I guess my parents both met in Perth. My dad plays rugby, and my mum had a really good friend who was dating someone on that rugby team. So that's how they met, and I think that's really cute. And my mum isn't a golfer, but she knows everything about it. She watches all my rounds online, even with the 12 to 13 hour time difference most of the time. And my dad's actually probably waking up to play golf this morning. I think he's got pennants on, so he's the golfer in the family, and I would just go out and watch him play on a Sunday with his friends, and slowly picked it up and got really competitive with him and decided to take it up myself.
Her father's name is Toe. He is Maori from New Zealand. He's one of 14 children. He used to take Hannah to Hillview Public Golf Course about 20 minutes from Perth City. So he might be playing golf, but Mom is watching the live stream back in Australia, where it is a little after 5 a.m. Monday morning. Hannah teed off 12:35 a.m. Australian time Monday morning, and so it's been a long night, a long wait for her mother Susan and her dad Toe, hoping that their daughter, their only child, can bring it home. To 17.
Oh, Sun Yun Park is a player that's trying to deny that chance for Hannah Green. And Gary, let's take a look at the 17.
Yes, well, you've touched on it. The whole location is pretty easy. There are slopes that want to work the ball right in toward the hole location. So we're liable to see a tee shot come into that area and get close. We might even see one come into this area and get close to the hole. So an excellent chance with a short iron in your hand to hit the ball into a good position to make a birdie.
And we know, Jerry, that Park hits the ball very high, can bring it down softly.
She does. Just a 9-iron here, not a big full one. Breeze helping a lot. Just try the hole, but that might be too much. Nope.
That's going to be really good. Game on. One shot back. And while we have a moment, we can go over to the 9th and check in with Jimin Kang. She was the only one of the 9 club professionals to make the cut here. Jimin played on the LPGA Tour from 2005 to 2014 and then took some time away, and now she's a teaching and club professional. She qualified in December, and she is the low club professional here at the KPMG Women's
and
PGA
the top
Championship.
sock game of the week.
She does wear some very good socks. Quarter on 17.
9-iron, little further right than Sung Hyun's ball, but drawing a bit.
And she's managed to keep it below the hole. So 2 very good looks at birdie there. And we'll go over to the final 3 ball at the 16th.
And it's Salas looking for this birdie to drop from behind the stick after a very aggressive second shot.
When the ball was in the air, I'll bet she thought it was going to drop down right next to the flag. It just pierced right through the wind. So longer putt than she would have wanted. Very exposed green. The wind is coming right from behind her.
That's not as aggressive as that last putt that she made, drilled home at 15, but should be a tap-in par there for Lizette to remain at 6 under. Kang drove at the fairway bunker at 18, so has this for bogey. And
This 18th, Dan, playing much harder than it did earlier in the week, because now back into the wind at this long par 4.
Megan Kang pays the price with a double after flirting in contention with that birdie at the 15th, but plays the last 3 holes +2 thanks to that finishing double. Now Hannah Green over at 16 to increase the lead.
Well, she's hit some pretty good looking putts the last few holes. This 16th green, I've always felt, though, was one of the toughest to putt, particularly in the wind, Gary. This is the most exposed green, and the wind will actually affect a putt here.
Made 2 birdies in the first 7 holes to at one point get herself a 4-shot lead. It was cut to 1 where it is right now, a chance to get it back to 2.
Well, this is one where you don't want to be overly aggressive. It is downhill, it is fast, easy to run 3 or 4 feet by.
It was good rhythm.
Green has got it. Pulling herself back together, and Hannah Green with a 2-shot lead with 2 to play to break through in a huge way in a major championship. With the pressure at its greatest in the 70th hole of this championship, Hannah Green with a birdie at the tough, dangerous par 4 16. And all the while, amidst this major championship pressure, Hannah Green has been, well, trying to deflect some of it by reacting with the crowd and the younger girls that have come up to her. That was her making her way over to the 17th tee, signing that young girl's flag. And then this was earlier in the championship. This is just great stuff. Randall Mell, the Golf Channel, tweeting this out. With the 8th tee backed up, there was a wait there. She stops to read a poem that a 7-year-old girl of Minneapolis wrote especially for her. There's Lily Costner on the left, watching Hannah Green take the time to read it. And then she gave her a ball there at the A&A earlier, so she remembers her favorite golfer. So great stuff by Green, reacting through it all. Out 17 we go again.
This was a little earlier. Nelly Corder for the birdie. Had to make that one to have a chance. Just a par now. Park for birdie.
Very quick putt. I do not see much in it at all, but so fast it can break either way quite easily.
To draw within one. Did it stay on line? No, it drifted to the right. She has a tendency under pressure to miss to the right. What do you see, Karen?
Well, she's looking like she's aiming it out that side anyway, hoping that it's going to fall left, and Jerry's read was absolutely spot on. Straight.
Misread at the wrong time. Well, this should be no problem. Started the final round last year 4 shots back, and she won in a playoff. Today she started 5 back, and she is 2 behind heading to the 72nd hole. Green with 2 holes to play.
Well, we showed you earlier Jimin Kang, the Low Club professional, and getting the crystal there from Allison Kurt, Vice President of the LPGA Teaching and Club Professionals. And you see Susie Whaley there, the PGA of America, Lynn Dowdy there of KPMG. Congratulations once again to Jimin Kang, the only club professional to make the cut, finishing at plus 15. Had a 70 in the second round, and Jimin having some fun with an honor. Congratulations to her once again. And over to the leader now by 2 at the 17th.
9th in the field in terms of greens in regulation, so she's pretty good in terms of finding the green. Fairway is a different story. 73rd in fairways hit, which could be an issue playing that tough 18th, but right now she's focusing on knocking this one close, Mark.
Pretty amazing, Tom, that she has that greens in regulation stat after driving the ball in the fairway. I mean, in the rough so much. 145 here.
Anything a little past the hole on the right will come back slightly.
Yes, do not want to be short.
You don't want to be too far left.
Catch green.
She says catch the green, which it does, and it's going to stay there. The little rain, I think, has slowed the greens slightly. We saw a few balls move back towards the hole earlier. She was a little concerned, I think, with that one in the air.
I think she thought she had pulled it actually a little more than she did. She appeared to think it was going to miss the green left.
Yeah, it was definitely a pull, and pulls tend to go a little farther than you want them to. And she'll have a speedy downhill right breaking putt.
Well, Lizette Salas is 3 shots back. She still has a chance, but you got to think she needs a birdie here.
Yeah, has to make it 2. Take dead aim right here.
Get up. Get up.
A little hop forward. Oh, we only needed 1 more hop. That's going to be tricky sitting down in the grass. A delicate shot there for Lizette Salas. Hannah Green has found the green at the 17th. Hannah Green walking up to the 17th. You may have seen her just smile there. A few Aussies in the crowd chanting their familiar oi, oi, oi. So she's got some support out there. But there's still a very serious task here for Hannah to take it into the clubhouse. Birdie putt at 17, but 18 is a tough, tough hole.
It is really tough, Tom. There's been there's been 5 double bogeys on the 18th already today.
There's Becky Kay there, and Grace Kim alongside Kari Webb, the 2 scholarship recipients. Becky and Grace can come over to watch and to learn about what it's like to play at a major championship, where they have been very lucky picking this week, because they get to stay in the same house as the player who is leading the championship. And now Lizette Salas. This is sitting down in the grass, but she's going to go with putter.
Yeah, it may pop out just a little bit here. I think she has to be looking out right of the hole. Slope is going to her left. There is a penalty area way down to the left, so that will tend to drain the water in that direction. It's got to make this one.
Quite enough.
As expected, Tom, a little bobble right as she made contact with it.
Yeah, and that first cut has really played havoc with the players, with their chip in and the decision making.
Yeah, there you see it. Big hop straight up in the air, and that takes the speed off.
And she's tapped in for a 3. Got to pay credit to the PGA of America, the LPGA Tour, for the way that they have set up this golf course. It has been first class and has certainly been a wonderful stage for these players to compete on. Now Hannah Green with a quick putt.
See if her heart has slowed down any, Tom, because I believe when her ball was in the air off the tee, she thought it was headed to the penalty area on the left. She had pulled it. It was very high in the air. The wind was coming from the right, and really maybe only about 10 feet from landing on that slope and bouncing down into that penalty area.
Well, Karen, I think this is huge here. A 2-putt. The 18th playing so difficult. There have only been 5 birdies there all day long. The chances of Park making a birdie there are very slim. This would be huge to have a 2-shot lead going to the last.
Yeah, that tee shot would be much more comfortable.
Just settle there. So for the cushion heading to the 72nd hole. And we will go to the 18th.
Sung Hyun Park, 2 back, #1 ranked hole today. It's averaging almost a half shot over par, and that one is headed left.
Well, she's missed the fairway the first 3 rounds.
Gets the bounce.
She got lucky there.
Wow. That was a huge break. If that ball ends up in the fairway bunker, she might not be able to reach the green in 2.
There have been 7 doubles at this hole in rounds 1 through 3. Now Korda. And she finds the fairway as well. 3 back. Park 2 back. And we go back to 17.
Ariya Jutanugarn has already putted. You think about what Hannah Green has done this week. She's trying to win wire to wire, and there's been pressure on her shoulders right from the beginning. No player has gone wire to wire and made this their first LPGA Tour victory, so it would be quite a feat to pull this off.
Wire to wire winners indeed. This is with no ties, Tom. Yanni Seng, Judy Kimball in 1962, and Mickey Wright did it a couple of times among her 4 wins in this championship, the most of any player. It is a rarity indeed, and it's just as big a deal and a long shot to break through for your first win out here in a major championship. There's been some precarious moments, but she's hanging in there.
Well, it's an endurance test, isn't it, guys? Mentally and physically. And Ariya has survived that endurance test twice, winning 2 majors, but not this week.
Yeah, I thought Ariya Jutanugarn would be much more of a factor today, but it has not been the case at 4 over for the round. Now, Green just needs to take care of business here. Nothing is guaranteed under major championship pressure. And that's a 3, and she will have that 2-shot lead as the Aussies scamper up to the 18th to hopefully watch their fellow countrywomen break through and win a major here in Minnesota.
The KPMG Women's PGA Championship is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. And by KPMG. This light mist continues to fall at Hazeltine. And back at this difficult 18th for birdie is Danielle Kang, winner of this championship at Olympia Fields a couple of years ago.
What a great run here. Good putt.
Gosh, she had to hit that with some force.
She sure did.
Good round for Danielle. She had the 68 yesterday. This is going to be a 2-under round for her, and there's a bit of another weight on the tee at 18. That's what Hannah Green was dealing with yesterday. You can see the look on her face like, let's get this going. And while we have a chance, we'll remind you once again that aerial coverage is presented by Club Gloves TRS Ballistic, #1 in professional golf, and the new standard in American-made luggage. It's almost that kind of weather. It harkens back to that 99 U.S. Open when Payne Stewart won, and he won his other U.S. Open right here at Hazeltine in 1991. And Hannah Green looking to put this one away up at the 18th for par in B Park, who won a U.S. Women's Open in nearby Interlaken to add to her 7 majors that she's won in her career.
Just 19 years old when she did that.
So in B Park with a 1-under round 71 after a outstanding round of 68 yesterday to put her name back in the mix at a major. Talking about breakthrough wins recently on this tour, Karen. Danielle Kang's win that we talked about at Olympia Fields a couple years ago certainly would register in that, I don't want to say shocking, but it was a surprise. It's still the only win she's had out here.
She was so clutch coming down the stretch, making some great putts, fending off Brooke Henderson.
Loves these kind of golf courses, loves the challenge of major championships, could not wait to get here, and is going to end up faring very, very well in another major, in another KPMG. This to stay in solo 6th. And just a couple names above her is Mel Reid, who's going to have the best finish of her career. Tied for 3rd right now, and there is Green just probably doing everything she can to take her mind off what could happen here in a few moments. She tapped in, what, 6 minutes ago, so kind of buying time out there on the 18th. Again, the most difficult hole, which is the only hole left for her, she hopes. Se-Young Kim heading up the hill here, Jerry.
170 yards, 5-iron in her hands, into a pretty good breeze from the right as well. That's left.
Korda is next.
57 hole.
A little bit of a downhill lie, but an uphill shot again into that breeze from the right. This is 7-iron. Good looking shot.
Turn it in. Turn it in.
Oh, what a shot.
It's one of the best we've seen all day.
And that's yet another example of why a lot of people think it's just a matter of time before Nelly Korda breaks through in one of these big championships, one of these majors. She's just 20 years old. And a lot of people thought that she could perhaps end up winning this title today, but looks like she's going to come up a little short.
But every time she puts herself in this position, she learns something from it.
Well, this is going to be her best finish ever in a major, right? Only one top 10
previously.
Yes.
All right, so the wait continues for Green as Park gets set.
8-iron, barely a clear line to the flagstick, but that breeze blowing from the right makes this one very doable. Her caddy came over the other side of the fairway to ask me what Hannah was doing behind us. He knows they're 2 back, and he has told her, you have to get this one close.
A birdie here would go a long way, putting some extra pressure on Green on a very difficult finishing hole.
Very aggressive, just right of the hole.
Yeah, good shot. Certainly gave herself that opportunity.
Yep, a chance to get to 8 under. Green is 9 under. Now finally gets to peg it down.
Really tough tee shot right about now for a number of different reasons. She had trouble with it yesterday, lost it way right. It's a good one here.
And it can be nearly as long as some of the other ones we've just seen, but importantly, in the fairway.
She was a long shot to start the week at Hazeltine in the women's 3rd major of the year. But all 22-year-old Hannah Green did was go out and make shots. Said she got a little lucky, but got herself in position. Lizette Salas on this final round Sunday had her moment as well. Nelly Korda, the future of this tour at 20 years old, making her presence known again and contending. Sung-Hyun Park was trying to become a back-to-back winner, still has a chance, has a birdie putt at 18, but Hannah Green has answered every call thus far to try to put her name on that trophy in the 65th edition of this KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Drive is in the middle of the fairway at 18, and up ahead, a huge birdie putt here for Park.
And she is going to leave no stone unturned in reading this one little subtle ridge she's putting up and over. In general, the putt's downhill, and the only thing I see it doing is falling just a little left late if it's slow.
This to get to 8 under and 1 back of Green behind her in the fairway. And that is in the hole to get to 8 under. Just the 7th birdie at 18 today, and it comes at a perfect time for the defending champion. I'm talking about her putting all week long. Like it's the weakness of her game. It didn't look like it there.
Well, 5th in putts and greens in regulation, 7th in total putts, Dan, for the week. So it has not been a liability at all.
Green heard the roar up on the hill. Now Korda for birdie. So the lead is 8 under in the clubhouse. And a par wins it for Hannah Green. Well, best finish in a major, as we talked about, for Nelly Korda. And then it came unraveled for Kim coming home. That triple at 16. And then a bogey here at 18. And the stage is cleared for the final threesome. Sung-Hyun Park hoping that Green drops one to have a chance. Salas will play first.
Yeah, she hit sort of a low pull off the tee and has lots of issues now. 199 yards from the hole being the biggest one.
Should be straight in.
Mark, I don't think she can possibly hit the club she needs to hit to reach this green to get it over the lip and around the tree.
I agree, Gary. I think you'll see this one come up in the fairway. I don't know, 60, 70 yards short of the green, maybe. She didn't hit it nearly that far. It's going to be down at the bottom of the hill. Hannah Green is going to get right after this one. No wasting time here. Hit the tee shot a little high on the club face, so she's pretty far back. 182 to the hole.
So important now to stick to your routine. Trust all those hours of practice. Take a deep breath.
In some ways, I like the fact that it looks like she's got some kind of hybrid. No, it's an iron. Just looking at the shaft.
It's a 6-iron, and it is a low drawing shot.
Short-sighted.
Wow, that is not going to be a good place to miss. So much going to depend on the lie now.
Ouch.
That was the quick transition that we have seen on occasion.
Well, there's no doubt she got out of her routine. She tried to get back into it, and she talked about it yesterday, trying to stay in the moment down the stretch. And she had to wait on the closing holes, and there's no doubt that she is feeling it. Jutanagarn now from the first cut.
And this ball's nestled down a little bit in that first cut, Dan. 6-iron as well. Going towards the right part of the green. And she hasn't had too many close birdie attempts today at all.
So Hannah Green wishes this walk was taking place with her safely on in regulation, but in that bunker on the left, par wins it. Bogey would get it into a playoff with Sunghyun Park. But Hazeltine has been a venue for breakthroughs, surprises, so to speak. And as you look at Park in there, putting the finishing touches on her round of 68. Remember Rich Beam winning the PGA Championship here in 2002. Y.E. Yang held off Tiger and made history as well. But both of those guys had won on the PGA Tour before their breakthroughs here at Hazeltine. But the 1966 U.S. Women's Open here, it was Sandra Spuzic's first LPGA win. And that is exactly what Hannah Green is hoping for here. But she has made it a much more difficult prospect here with her second shot. And she knows it by the look on her face.
Her short game has really kept her in this championship. She's going to have to really rely on it right now.
Well, she's been in the sand 3 times this week. She's managed to get it up and down twice. So have to rely on that I have done well from the sand so far.
Lizette Salas now can just barely see the top of the flagstick from her vantage point all the way down on the bottom of the fairway here.
Well, you said a while back, Karen, that these things are never easy, especially when you're trying to get it done in a major championship.
No, and I have to think that the weight on the tee, plays in your mind because you start to think ahead.
Lilacs pretty good.
Well, and the fact that Sung Yoon Park made a 3 on that last hole added to that pressure. I mean, you almost had the sense that as difficult as the 18th was playing, that probably a 5 was going to be good enough.
Gary, I don't think she had enough club on the second shot. 182 up the hill into the wind. I felt like she had to force it.
I'm with you, Mark.
Have you had a chance to look at the lie, Mark?
Lie's pretty good. It's sitting down in the bottom of the bunker there.
Got about, what, 15 feet of green or so to work with?
It would be good for Hannah if this was just on the slight upslope.
It's kind of awkward feeling she has to keep waiting, so it looks like, I don't know, she and Ari have been looking at each other to see who's actually away. I think Ari is going to go.
114th ranked player in the world. Up and down from that bunker will give her this major championship breakthrough. Jatanagarn, who has just had a disaster of a day. Many expected her to be the one that would overtake Green. 2 majors won among her 10 total victories, just has not had it. And so here we go. Ranks 57th on the season in sand saves, getting just less than half of them. So
just needs to do it one more time, though. It's a great shot. Got a little spin on it out of the wet sand.
He did. That was a confident stroke. Needed to accelerate through that sand, and she did get some action on it. It checked up nicely.
Well done.
So hard to show that kind of touch with the pressure on, and your Aussie mates watching your every move. It's 5:45 in the morning down under in Perth. Her mom, Susan, her dad, Toe, watching all night long. Now all she has to do is make a little slippery putt for par to put it away and join the likes of Jan Stevenson, Kari Webb, who's right out here just a few feet away in the gallery as Australian women major winners in the sport. Sung Hyun Park hoping to get it to a playoff, which would start at this 18th hole.
And Hannah right now is just trying to keep her mind off of what's at stake here. She's looking at her yardage book. She's trying to keep it working away from that.
Well, deep breathe a little bit. Just, trying to calm yourself as much as possible. The other thing to remember in this situation, if she were to miss, she still gets to keep playing. And that should make the putt a little bit easier. I'm not saying it's easy, but easier. With that kind of day for Jatanagarn, absolutely nothing going right.
No one saw this coming. Not even Aria, who really had the momentum last night, closing within 1 with that 68. Only to fire a 77 today with it all on the line. Salas will attempt her par before Hannah Green. We talked about Hannah Green's influence of her father on her golf game. And Lizette Salas's father, Ramon, a big inspiration for Lizette. He was a mechanic at a golf course and introduced his daughter to the game. And as Tom Abbott was explaining earlier, became the first member of her family to graduate from college at USC and playing on the golf team there and enjoying all that success. Really hung in there today with her kind of game, which is not long but steady. And a chance to get in here at 6 under in a tie for third with Mel Reid, Nelly Korda.
It's been a good week for Lizette. I think all in all, she's not going to win the championship, but I think she will be pretty pleased with the way she's played.
Well, Mark, this will be her best finish of the season. She's only had one top 15 finish. So nice to do it in a major.
Didn't make very many bogeys this week. That's just the second of the day for Lizette Salas. 5 total for the entire week, and that is an incredible run. And now the stage is cleared for par to win this major championship and become one of the most unlikely winners of a major championship golf in recent history.
Karen, you've had putts like this. I've had putts like this. You keep telling yourself you've made this putt many times in the past. A little bit of right to left break. It's the kind of putt that right-handed players like.
You've practiced this putt on the putting green many times in your mind to win majors.
From down under, indeed breaks through in a major way.
How are you? Good to see you.
There's her boyfriend, Jared Felton. They met through this sport of golf. Kari Webb, who gave her that scholarship just a few years ago. And the scholarship winners of this year here, all at the same house. She won wire to wire. It doesn't get much more of a storybook ending than that. Mel Reid offering her congratulations. You just bottle it up inside all week long, hoping that it's going to be your week. It had that look at the start. It had any kind of look today when it looked like Hannah Green could have faded with those 3 bogeys in a 4-hole stretch. She got it back together. And 114th ranked player in the world breaks through at Hazeltine with a women's 3rd major title of the year. Not even 6 a.m. in Perth. I'm sure there's a few revelers back there, and a nice smile from Sung Hyun Park, even though she would come up short in her bid to go back-to-back. I think the house rental is going to be, as they say, lit tonight. It's going to be a great celebration there, led by Hannah Green, Kari Webb, and company.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a parking splat. Flyby ballooning.
Down. Oh, no.
Rooftop parking. And even a hidden drone.
Relax, it's just a bug.
That's not a bug. That's not a bug.
And we covered them. Talked to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
The Paris region is the perfect place for all the ways you choose to play. And Expedia has everything you need to book it all, with flights, hotels, and things to do across the city. It's everything you need to go. Expedia.
Minimums and fees seem to be the foundation of your typical bank. Capital One is anything but typical. That's why we designed savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Objective hit the targets. Level 1, 1 player. Level 2, multiple players. Level 3, freestyle.
Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia for $359 a month.
Hey, Jeff.
How are you today?
Keep working on it. Good job.
Wherever your golf journey is headed, let's get you there. We are nearly 29,000 PGA professionals ready to help.
The path to the PGA Tour runs through Utah. And the field is packed with contenders, all fighting for their card. The Utah Championship begins Thursday, live at 6 p.m.
How many golf courses can you play with Golf Now? Well, let's just say you can tee it up almost anywhere, except here, for now. Book around at over 7,000 golf courses worldwide at the #1 place to book tee times. Golf Now. Go play.
All summer gets loud in Arkansas.
Ooh, yeah, magic in the air. Ooh, yeah,
The Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship begins Friday at noon on Golf. Subscribe now to get exclusive early round coverage of featured groups with PGA Tour Live.
A look at the updated race to the CME Globe, and the big mover down there on the bottom. You see Hannah Green moving to 17th, so getting closer to getting into that top 10. Sung Hyun Park takes a jump of 6 spots up into the 7th place. And guys, this is why you watch sports. No one really gave Hannah Green a chance at the beginning of the week, and a lot of doubters coming into this final round with Ariya Jutanugarn and all that star power behind her. But boy, she got it done. How impressive was this?
Well, Hannah Green believed in herself. She got on that tee, she trusted her game, and coming down the stretch, it was awesome.
All right, we've got an interview with a winner with Jerry Foltz.
We do, Hannah. Describe the emotions on that last hole, on that last putt.
I mean, I'm pretty much speechless. I was really nervous playing the last 5 holes, and I'm just really happy that, I made a clutch putt, because that was kind of what was struggling through the middle of the round. And yeah, just to make the one on the last, it really is surreal.
Your mom watching at home, Kari Webb and all your friends here watching in person, sharing this moment with them and their support. What does that mean to you?
It's awesome. I mean, I've always wanted to win in front of an Aussie crowd, but I felt like even though I'm not in Australia, that was what it was like today. And even just to be winning a major as my first event, I'm just over the moon.
At what point did the nerves start to settle in today?
I actually didn't feel too nervous the first few. I felt pretty good about how I was hitting it. But definitely coming towards the back 9, I think missing the putt on 8 and 9, that really hurt, and I probably wasn't in the right headspace for that. And then just making the putt on 16 obviously relieved everything. I heard Sung Hyun birdie the last, so I knew I needed to make par. I really didn't want to play that hole again, so I'm just really happy that I made it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dan?
Still sinking in for Hannah Green. Said she needed a little bit of luck. She got that, but boy, did she come up big with that up and down to put it away. As always, if you missed any of today's action, get caught up with Golf Central on Golf Channel coming your way next. And join us next time at the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe in July 12th through the 14th on the networks of NBC. Then the following week will be at Portrush for the Open, July 18th to the 21st. Coming up next, it's your local news, and tonight don't miss New Amsterdam at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. For our entire crew here at Hazeltine, Dan Hicks saying so long from Minnesota. Hannah Green is the champion.